Wealth is a brand new play. MoveQuest is bringing it to the forefront and it's open for everyone. Once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us this evening for our weekly update call with the creator of MoveQuest. Thank you for those of you that are here for the very first time. We welcome you to learn more about what MoveQuest actually is and what it actually represents. This is not an overview call. We normally have those on Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll give you that information toward the end of tonight's call. But these calls are typically dedicated for getting more in-depth information as to what's going on behind the scenes of MoveQuest and the direction that it's moving into. And we're always excited to hear any information that we can from the project's creator. MoveQuest is a move to earn platform where individuals are actually able to earn digital rewards from their normal day-to-day activity and enhance their earning capability if they decide to move a little bit more, because the more you move with MoveQuest and the more mining power that you obtain with MoveQuest, the more you're actually able to earn. And we're working our way into building a viral phenomenon that people around the world can actually participate in with a very, very low barrier of entry. Having a mindset of, just like when you get ready and you start working out, you haven't been working out for a long period of time and you're just getting back into the throes of things, it takes time to actually get back in shape and start seeing those results. But as long as you're consistent and active over time, the results do come. And that is synonymous with what the value proposition from a physical perspective that MoveQuest actually brings to the marketplace. But it also works the same way synergistically and simultaneously with the digital rewards that are being earned on a day-to-day basis. You're actually accumulating an asset that, as more people around the world choose to participate in this platform, has the potential to not only increase in size because you're accumulating them on a daily basis with your physical activity, but increase in value because MoveQuest is a community-driven project, and the value of the asset that is a part of this platform is totally driven by the people that choose to participate in it. And the more people we have in this community, the more value the assets within the community has. So with that being said, once again, it's always an honor to bring forth the creator of this platform, Miss Lynette Artin, who has done a phenomenal job actually putting together this ecosystem. And we love to hear what she has to share with us. So Miss Artin, I see you're here with us this evening. How are you doing today?
There we go. I'm unmuted. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Great, doing wonderful, doing wonderful. So what's going on in the world of MoveQuest, Miss Artin? Let us know.
All right. Give you guys some exciting updates, right? So we've got lots of things that are, you know, cooking up, getting ready to go live. The first, let's see, where should we start? What would be the most exciting? Um, well, has everybody looked at the charts today? You notice they're going up. It's funny because it was just yesterday or maybe the day before, somebody actually had posted and asked, well, how do we get the market value of the token to go up and not keep going down? And honestly, I just kind of shook my head and I'm like, well, it's pretty simple, right? If you're selling, the market value is going down. But if there's a demand and you're buying, then the market value is going up. So if you guys go and you look at the market today, for those of you who are wondering, how do you get the market value to go back up? Well, you have people that are buying the MoveQuest token, sharing the project and, explaining how it works and getting people involved in mining the MoveQuest token. One, the biggest advantage you have is that you're going to become more healthy. It really it drives you to compete with yourself, right? So that because the more you move, the more you're mining. Now, I don't know if people realize, but think back to the Bitcoin mining days. Those of you who uh, were around paying attention to crypto back then. I know when Bitcoin got started, I bought my first Bitcoin. It wasn't even a penny. And when you could actually mine from a regular computer, because there wasn't the mining difficulty or the competition or the expense then, like it did become at the later on down the road, where you really had to spend some major money. But you got to think about miners. You're the factory. You're the ones that are producing these tokens for the market. And if there's no demand and you're selling that token, of course the price is going to drop, right? This is a full self-sustaining ecosystem that's driven by the community's behaviors. And so if you're mining every day and you're selling the MoveQuest every day, if you're selling it to cover your mining costs, you're going to see the market value go down. But the mining, that's meant to supply the market when the market needs it, not drown it. Okay, when no one's buying the MoveQuest token. So the miners, you're creating that supply. The price goes up when the demand is bigger than the supply. So there's a lot of things that can change the dynamics of what goes on in the pool. One, you got to think about that full self-funding ecosystem. And if you guys all understand what decentralized is, throw up some hearts or 100% or just a thumbs up or something, so I know everybody understands that being decentralized means that you're in control. There is no middleman. There's nobody that is managing your tokens. There's no bank. There's no intermediary. It's just you and a smart contract. And so you're making all the decisions. You're making the decision to submit that proof of physical activity. You're making the decision to claim your tokens from the smart contract. You're making the decision to sell those tokens. You're making the decision what type of miner that you're going to mine with. Everything is done in real time, instantly, and managed by these smart contracts. And by being decentralized, that means there's nobody that is managing this for you. 100%. It's totally in your hands. So it's not the fault of the project, because this project leaves 90% of all transactions for the liquidity pool. The project only gets 10%. Now, any of your other projects that you've been involved in, it does not work that way. 100% of the money goes into the creator's project, and the community buys all the pre-sale tokens, and you provide the liquidity. But this is a self-funding ecosystem. It's completely utility backed. Okay, there's nothing but all kinds of use for the MoveQuest token. And here in the next week or so, you're going to see a whole lot more use available, things that you're going to be able to use that MoveQuest token for, which is going to create even a higher demand. The self-funding ecosystem, every single time you engage in the platform, the project, regardless of what you're doing, you're providing liquidity to the pool. And I've heard several people who have said, well, if the market value of the token is down and what I had to spend to mine that MoveQuest token today isn't bringing me a profit, then I'm not going to submit. You become part of the problem in the self-funding ecosystem because you're mining those tokens. You're holding tokens, hopefully you're holding. And if you don't contribute to the ecosystem, then you're not contributing to the liquidity pool. And so you're a deterrent, right? Because you're not engaging in the ecosystem. So you got to think about this on a long-term vision. And I'm going to go over a few other things that maybe will hopefully, help everybody understand exactly how this works in a different way. I'm always trying to pull up this light bulb so people have this light bulb effect that goes, oh my gosh, I finally get it. I get it now. But you got to figure everything you're already doing, you're mining MoveQuest token for now. Every step, every mile, every workout, every calorie you burn, every minute of your sleep is mining the MoveQuest token. So the more you move, the more you mine, the more you thrive. So when you move, that is connecting that fitness data, your walks, your runs, your workouts, and even all your sleep. Then you're mining these MoveQuest tokens with that proof of physical activity. You're building your health, wealth, and your freedom. It's actually very incredible if you really understand how this whole system comes together. Our tokenomics are inspired by the most successful model in crypto, Bitcoin. Look at all these other projects who are changing the tokenomics. Some of these projects have got hundreds of millions and billions and trillions of tokens. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Bitcoin did it right, so why try to rewrite the wheel? Just like Bitcoin, MoveQuest is capped at 21 million tokens. This creates that scarcity and it does preserve the long term value. We've got a lot of things that Bitcoin doesn't have. And what that means is already to date, it took Bitcoin 4 years to get where we are today. So we will be able to reach Bitcoin's market values in a percentage of the time. It'll take us 50% of the time to reach Bitcoin's market values, maybe even 25% of the time. It could happen literally in the first couple of years. So all of that MoveQuest you're mining, that's through your proof of physical activity. That's what is being recorded to the blockchain. That's what validates the tokens that you're mining. Our ecosystem is simple: mint, hatch, evolve, dock, boost, submit, claim, lease, and compete. And all of this is interacting within the ecosystem. When you mint those miners, 90% of every mint is recycled back to the vault for future mining. It's never spent. This project cannot sell the MoveQuest token. So whenever the community is using the MoveQuest token, that means that it has to be added as liquidity before it could be sold, meaning it has to be bought before it can be sold. So if you go to the exchange, you buy the MoveQuest token, you spend it to mint your miners, it comes in to the ecosystem. That MoveQuest belongs to the community. It goes into the vault. That is going to be mined beginning in the year 2060. Now, if you go into the hatchery, until you've got a short window of time, the MoveQuest comes back to you that you've used to mint your miners. But pretty soon that goes away and it just becomes part of the onboarding system. Now, when that happens, you'll hatch your miners with MoveQuest. That means you're spending your miners or your MoveQuest to mint the miners. That's the utility of the token. And that MoveQuest stays in the vault until it can be used and paired to USDT and added to the liquidity pool. So it can't be sold. It has to be added as liquidity, which means it has to be purchased and used before that MoveQuest can be sold again. So all of the MoveQuest that comes back in through the ecosystem, it's creating scarcity of that token. Now the hatchery is an awesome, amazing feature of the MoveQuest platform. You deposit that MoveQuest, you get your miners, and now you're going to earn 0.001846 MoveQuest per MoveQuest that's been spent. Now, for a short period of time, you get all of that MoveQuest back. What you spent, and why is that? Well, because it's held for 220, you're earning on it for 222 days. Okay. Now, you won't get that back here in a very short time frame. We may extend it. That's why I'm not giving you a for sure date. It was supposed to end on March 31st, but we are considering just extending it for another week or two beyond that point, just to give people some more time. We've had a lot of requests on that. So it isn't the normal activity within the hatchery to give you back the MoveQuest, okay, that you spent to mint the miners. That would be absorbed by the project for liquidity. but we want to make sure that we don't end up with a shortage of MoveQuest because the hatchery has been doing an amazing job. I don't know if you guys have looked at what is currently staked in the hatchery right now, but there are 228,000, almost 229,000 MoveQuest tokens that are in the hatchery at the moment. You guys have to excuse me, talking is a little bit difficult. I had some dental work done and I'm kind of packed right now, so it makes it difficult for me to talk in a normal way. So I'm trying to be as clear as I possibly can. So currently there's only 289,383 MoveQuest tokens in circulation. That's it. That's all that's in the wallets of holders. Now it was kind of funny. I had a conversation with one of our MoveQuesters today, and we were talking about the amount of token that is in circulation. So since July 21st, when we listed the token, there's been 1,016,000 MoveQuests that have gone into circulation. The ecosystem has purchased almost 500,000 of those tokens. That's future liquidity. Okay, that's community MoveQuest that goes back in as liquidity. And holders wise, if you add what's in the hatchery to what's in the wallet, holders is about 516,000 MoveQuest. So that tells you right there that we do have a lot of holders within the MoveQuest project. That's half of the MoveQuest that's been mined that is still being held in wallets. Now, if you've entered it into the hatchery and you've minted additional miners, that's all coming back to you. The reason it is because 222 days from now, we don't want to have a shortage of MoveQuest and an inflated market value. And so we've got a cap on what that number needs to be, and then that goes away. You'll only get your rewards back. But those rewards, they're actually very significant. So when you're mining every day from your steps and all your physical activity, and you submit that proof of physical activity, we have, a pretty high percentage of mining difficulty because only 2,500 MoveQuests per day are being mined right now. However, if you are in the hatchery, every time you submit, you're going to get those extra MoveQuest rewards based on the amount of MoveQuests that you have contributed to the hatchery. Now, when you don't get the MoveQuest back and you're only earning the rewards, remember that is still locked for 222 days. So even the project can't use it for liquidity for 222 days. So the hatchery really does create that scarcity of that MoveQuest token to make sure that we're not drowning the liquidity pool with an overabundance of the MoveQuest token until there is a high demand for that. So what does that look like? Well, if you used 100 MoveQuest to mint miners through the hatchery, that's adding an extra 0.1846 MoveQuest per day. Well, over 222 days, that's an extra 41 MoveQuest. It's actually more than probably what you're mining from your proof of physical activity. But if you don't submit the proof of physical activity, you don't qualify for the mining rewards out of the hatchery. So there's many reasons why that hatchery is very powerful. One, it removes MoveQuest out of circulation. Two, it boosts what your mining rewards are based on what you've spent on miners. And three, it's ensuring that the community is submitting that proof of physical activity because they know if they don't submit, they won't get the rewards on a daily basis for those 222 days. So if I miss submitting today, I won't get my hatchery rewards today. If I submit tomorrow, I'll get them tomorrow. If I don't submit the next day, I won't get them that day. So you have to submit in order to qualify for those hatchery rewards. Now, if you had used 500 MoveQuest, that is an additional 204 MoveQuest tokens that you're going to get in 222 days. Now, for people who come in once the deadline has been reached and receiving all your MoveQuest back, remember right now, if you use 500 MoveQuest to mint miners in 222 days, you're getting the 500 back plus the 204. That means you're getting 704 back. Now, when the hatchery takes on its full, the way it's supposed to be used, you won't get that 500 MoveQuest back. You'd only get the 204. So it's got several really good components for the ecosystem. When you evolve your miners, you're increasing your miners' power. Okay, that means that you're going to be mining at a higher rate of that MoveQuest token. And with the evolution, 90% of that goes to liquidity. When you plug your miners into the mining dock, you're powering up those miners. That's how you start mining those MoveQuest rewards. So that also provides 100, not 90%, but the dock provides 100% to the liquidity. That means every single MoveQuest token that comes in through the mining dock, because the project can't sell it, goes towards liquidity. So essentially, when you're looking at the mining dock, the MoveQuest that has to be used there, when you look at the minting or the hatchery, the evolution, it all averages out to almost 100% of all transactions that take place within the ecosystem staying with the community, because that mining dock, it actually makes up for a lot of that 10% that stays with the project. That mining dock, it brings in a lot of MoveQuest. Now, boosts are going to go live probably by the end of the week, middle of next week. And that is going to be your way to supercharge your miners and give your miners a boost in their power. So it temporarily boosts your miners, and you can reactivate those boosts. And those are also NFTs. We'll explain a lot of that here in the next few days, but it's going to increase that mining potential. So let's say you had an off day. Maybe you didn't get as many steps in as you want. So you want to boost your miners' power so you can boost the rewards that you received. Or maybe you had a really good day and you want to give your miner a boost so that you can take more advantage of those attribute elemental bonuses that you get with that miner. The result, it means that's consuming MoveQuest, okay? It doesn't take AVAX or USDT to buy the boost. It takes MoveQuest. Again, that's 100% of that MoveQuest goes to the liquidity. And so it's actually rewarding active participation, and it's reducing the supply of MoveQuest by bringing it back in and adding it as liquidity. Now remember, the submissions, that is important. That is what the algorithm is based from 100%. Okay, everything else, all the other features, they are secondary to the algorithm. So the submission plays a major role in what the ecosystem does with the liquidity pool. So you'll see some days where the evolution will remove a small amount of the liquidity pool. It goes in, it'll make a buy, and then it will add back the liquidity. And some people may wonder, well, why does the ecosystem do that? Think about it like this. When you are buying a token, if you buy it at $1 and then it goes up to 10, you're going, but let's say you only have that $1. That's all you have to spend. So you bought the token when it was $1 and you got a full token. But if you had to buy it when it was at $10, you would only get a tenth of that token. Well, it's the same way with the liquidity. So if you bring the market value up a little bit and then you deposit liquidity in, it pads that liquidity at that market value, okay, that it was brought up to, but it took less MoveQuest paired to the USDT because the MoveQuest had a little bit higher market value. So when the algorithm sees, okay, submissions are staying consistent or the submissions are increasing, it knows that it would have enough to stabilize and increase market value. But if it starts to see the submissions dropping, lack of participation, and it's only for one reason. If people see the market value going down, they think it's not worth it. But you're actually having an effect on the liquidity pool itself, because now the algorithm has to revert and it has to do things a little differently. Now it just has to pad the liquidity because it won't bring up the market value if it can't sustain it. It's all part of the ecosystem. You got to figure 90%, and in two instances 100% of the MoveQuest stays with the liquidity. So if the engagement is decreasing, then what happens with the liquidity changes course. So when you see the ads, a little piece of removal, a buy, and then added back in, it's because the algorithm at that time feels like it can support an increased market value based on submissions. But if the submissions are going down, then it won't do a market increase. It will just simply add liquidity, and it will just keep pushing the liquidity into the pool, because then it stabilizes. And that means that there's overselling or a drowning basically of the pool with the MoveQuest token. So the community's engagement and understanding how this ecosystem works is extremely important. Claiming your tokens, there's even some incentives there for the community. If you're going to claim every day, it's going to cost you a lot more. But if you claim every 10 days, it's only going to cost you $1. So if you claim every day, I think it's $10. If you claim every 2 days, it's $9. If you claim every 3, it's $8. Why is that? It's not because we're trying to overcharge through the system, because it all stays with liquidity anyway. What it's doing is it's encouraging positive behavior of your mined tokens, right? To hold them for the 10 days, paid less in the claim fee. And by giving you the ecosystem having that discount on the price you're paying on the claim, you're still stabilizing the market value of the token, because that was 10 days of mining that weren't sold before that 10-day period was up. So it keeps the token release fair based on your activity. This project is not speculation driven. Okay, it's truly driven by the community engagement, 100%. And it again provides that 90%. Now the leasing, that's ready to go. All right, but we're holding off just for a little bit. We got several things that are coming into play, and there's a good reason why we're just giving this a little time here. One, we want to get the hatchery, get that done, and we have well, I'm not sure what we're going to call it yet. We're still working on it, but in the next 3 or 4 days, we've got a really nice surprise for everybody. It's going to really help with your marketing efforts, and it's going to give everybody an opportunity to experience the MoveQuest platform. But I'm going to wait, and I'm gonna explain that in a few days. We'll have a little presentation that comes out on it. But once we get that stuff opened up, then we will give the leasing. Probably a little short test run and see. We really would like to see the community uh, size increase just a bit. And we think we're going to be there in the next couple of weeks, 3 weeks anyway. But to see, 10,000 users on the project's platform, and with some of the things that we have happening right now behind the scenes, we really do think we'll reach that level at least by mid-April, if not before the end of April. Then it would be much better to open up the leasing, because you'd have the demand for it. So you don't want to release something before there's a demand for it. Kind of like you don't want to sell the tokens unless there's a demand for it. All of that matters. The challenges, this is where you be able to compete, okay? You'll be able to create your own challenges. You'll be able to join other people who have started challenges, or you'll be able to join the MoveQuest challenges. So that again is going to, you'll earn extra MoveQuest if you win those challenges, but it also brings in MoveQuest, and that's also the MoveQuest that comes in from that, again, is 100% to the liquidity. So every action in MoveQuest is managed with smart contracts. It serves a purpose within the ecosystem. There's not one part of the ecosystem that doesn't have a checks and a balance. Every single feature has a very important impact on the project's ecosystem for the community. It all has to do with supply and demand, scarcity of the token, the market value of the token, reducing the supply, increasing the demand, strengthening the liquidity pool. And that's what makes MoveQuest more than a real life game. It is a self-sustaining economy, and you won't see that anywhere in the crypto space unless you're a blockchain. So MoveQuest was built like a blockchain. We're just not a blockchain. Everybody knows you need a DApp wallet. Got to be able to fund your wallet, and then you got to download our app. We're going through the rebranding right now. We are getting ready to submit the application over to CoinMarketCap. If we don't do it tomorrow morning, we'll have it ready to be submitted on Thursday. So we shouldn't be long. We've already been in communication with CoinMarketCap. It shouldn't take long for us to be verified. Then you're going to see the FDV really change. I don't know if any of you know this, but hopefully this will excite all of you as much as it does me. But our liquidity pool is 13% away from being completely fluid. So right now, if you look at our tokenomics, what's in circulation, right now the bottom floor price for MoveQuest is $4.04. And that's based on our current market value of 569. So if everybody who is holding tokens went and sold them today, it would take it down to about $4.04. And then remember, there's still the other half that's sitting in the hatchery. There's still people mining, so it's not like it would be the end of the project because it's a self-sustaining ecosystem. And right now, if everybody went into a selling frenzy who are holding it, that would be the lowest price that you would see. Now tomorrow, 2,500 more MoveQuests go into circulation like it does every single day. So that dynamic changes a little bit if there were not any other buys or anybody else going into the hatchery, if it just stayed that way. So basically what that's saying is that with the current community and with their participation, just submitting doesn't include anything else, just the submissions that come in through through the system into the ecosystem, it would sustain a market value of $4.04. That's powerful. You don't see that anywhere else. You don't see that anywhere in the move to earn space. And most of your projects, you wouldn't see this in the first 200 and what is it, 240 days. That's all that we've been mining right now. So all of that is super, super exciting. We've got 44% of the MoveQuest tokens that have been circulating have been staked in the hatchery. Now, the hatchery, the 4-tier hatchery, everybody who's in the 4-tier hatchery, when you get this is also a big deal. So this is something you want to pay attention to as well. Because you're getting all of your MoveQuest back, plus you're getting the rewards, you will be able to deposit all of that MoveQuest into what is called the Golden Hatchery. There is no AVAX fee. It's just a simple deposit. And then you'll be able to continue earning that 0.001846 per day on every MoveQuest that's in the Golden Hatchery. You won't get miners. It's just simply you'll be able to roll it right into the Golden Hatchery and continue earning, and it won't have a cost to you to do that other than whatever blockchain charges you to make that transaction through the smart contract, which is pennies, if that, probably even less than a penny. And once the hatchery goes into its full dynamic, the way it works, you would be able to take your earned MoveQuest that you've mined from what you deposited. You'd be able to take those earnings and put it in the Golden Hatchery. But that's a big deal to be able to get all of that back. So right now, we're toying with the dates of March 31st to April 20th. So we'll let you know in the next few days if we're going to extend it to April 20th. But right now, that's kind of what we're leaning towards because we have a lot of people waiting on their taxes to come back. They want to be able to do the 4-tier hatchery. So we don't really want to do it right before, and we don't do it right on, April 15th. So we're looking at April 20th to extend it for that time frame. So I'm trying to think if there's any other updates. Am I missing anything, you guys, that I'm supposed to be sharing? There will be a new slide deck added to the site, probably by the morning. And it basically goes over what I just talked about tonight on this call. But really exciting stuff going on, you guys. Everything is coming together. We really needed that time. I don't get disappointed when I see people sell. I feel bad for them because I know they're gonna. Have you ever heard anybody, tell you you're gonna kick your own ass one day? that's what's going to happen, because a lot of people have, this fear that, oh, I've heard this before, heard that before. Well, you need to use MoveQuest as what you set for for precedent for you, right? Ask the good questions. Is it a self-sustaining ecosystem? How does the project provide liquidity to the project? If the community has to provide the liquidity, you might as well walk away, because it's going to fail and it's got an end date. It will never work. Nobody's going to leave their money in a project to get a few pennies on transaction fees. If you have a solid project, it should be a self-funding ecosystem. The community should just be able to come and enjoy the project, and everything that they do within the project, that should provide the liquidity. Projects should be self-sustaining. And if you can't find a project that is, you shouldn't put your money in it. Blockchains are self-funding ecosystems. 99.9% of your projects are not. And you'll lose every time. You may get lucky here and there, but when you get lucky, somebody else lost, because those are destined to fail. I'm very picky. I don't get into almost anything when it comes to crypto unless it is a blockchain. Um, and then I do, because those are self-funding ecosystems, and those will stand the test of time. But 90% of your projects won't. So at the right, you're at the right project at the right time. If you're new to crypto, be glad, right? Because you won't lose here. This project can never go bankrupt. The only way that this project would ever stop is if everybody stopped mining and if everybody stopped submitting. And by that time, you sold all your tokens anyway, and nobody loses. So it is a very solid project. 4 years in the making. And once this takes off, those of you who are selling, we call it shaking the tree. Like, I don't get disappointed or upset. And I always tell the community, don't get upset about that. All these people that are selling right now at $5, what do you think they're going to do when it hits 100 again, or hits 1,000, or hits 2,500? And those days they're coming very quickly. You don't want them selling all them tokens then, right? You want to just sell a percentage of them and let that puppy get up to where it's $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Um, and so it's good to get rid of uh, those tokens that they're going to sell anyhow. Let them sell them low. It's all good. It's powerful for the liquidity pool, because you got to remember it's self-sustaining. So every day there's liquidity that's being injected. Now, I don't know if any of you guys pay attention to the liquidity that goes in. Sometimes it'll be a week where no liquidity goes into the pool. Then all of a sudden there's 150,000 that's added, or there's 100K that's added, or there's 50K that's added. The algorithm in the ecosystem knows when it needs to be added, and it knows how to level it off, and it knows where it needs to be at for a percentage for sustainability, and it's all in the system. And so when you see those big injections, it's because the ecosystem can see a trend of buys coming in. Now, when you go and you look today, you've seen that trend of buys coming in. It only goes to a certain level, and then that algorithm understands, okay, we need to start beefing it. So you really started seeing that liquidity get pumped into that pool over the last couple of weeks. It does that on purpose. It knows how to watch the behaviors of the community, and it knows what's happening. It's all math. And so it's incredible. It's awesome. It's fun to watch. So I hope you guys are excited. I don't have a ton of updates really, other than 13% away from being fluid is an amazing place to be. We're sitting at about 87, almost 88% fluid. That's awesome. We've got 44% stake in the hatchery. That's awesome. We've got over 500,000 MoveQuest tokens being held by by our holders, our MoveQuest community. That's simply amazing. That means only half of the tokens have been sold in the last 240 days, and almost half of those have been absorbed by the ecosystem, purchasing them, putting them back in the vault for future liquidity. Now, as the market value goes up, that means that liquidity gets more and more and more valuable, because the ecosystem wants to buy low as well. A lot to take in, but I'm telling you, if you guys don't understand crypto, this is where you want to be, because you're going to learn everything you need to know. You'll be a crypto pro, and you won't lose your money. So that's what I got, Herschel.
Well, that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit. Several things you mentioned. One, and I am glad to hear you say that you're going to be adding the a new PDF presentation to the website that kind of covers many of the things that you mentioned here today. And I like that because there's a lot of people listening right now that are very familiar with crypto, that understand what you've shared and how the ecosystem works, how liquidity works, how the community's involvement, all of that kind of stuff builds value in and around the assets associated with the platform. But for those individuals that are new to crypto or that may not have been able to follow you to the detail, that PDF that's going to be on the website here within the next day or so, along with re-listening to the section of this recording together, will definitely help someone wrap their head around really what we have in front of us. And the key to it all, and it's not, and I know we all get excited, right? We all want to make money, we all want to see value, but at the same time, we've been in projects, we've been pursuing things that, we spent 2 months on, 3 months on, 6 months on, and then now it's gone. And then we go and we jump into something else and we try to make it work, and it does well for a while, and then it's gone. And we on that proverbial hamster wheel, if you will, so to speak. But what I'm seeing with this platform is that, we're, like you say, we're about 240 days in with the project. We've seen some phenomenal results with the platform. But the thing that really, really stands out to me is the fact that, listen, we are, number one, still healthy as a project. Individuals are able to manage their own assets virtually at will because it's decentralized. And the only thing that stands in between the value of the assets is the more people that know about it, that choose to participate with it, will impact. So the more we actually, and I like it because it's not like I'm out selling people on MoveQuest. I'm sharing MoveQuest with people. There's people out there that would love to be a part of a community of people, number one, that's health conscious. There's already health conscious communities that are out there, but they're not able to receive rewards from the things that they're already doing. The thing is they just don't know about it. They just don't know about it. So as a community, I'm not gonna say challenge, I just ask that if you know of people that are health conscious, people that may need to be health conscious, or what have you, share MoveQuest with them. Don't sell them on it, just bring them to it and let them make their own decision as to whether or not they want to participate with it. And stay tuned for the days, not weeks, but the days to come for some tools and things that will help make that process a lot easier for you to share it and get more people engaged with this ecosystem at whatever level they're able to participate. I believe as 2025 continues on, we as a project will get in front of more and more people that will see the value in what it is that we have, and we'll all be better for it in the end. And the work, the physical activity, the sacrifices and things that individuals have made, and the commitment, I should say, that individuals have made for their health and their wealth will be very, very well worth it as time goes on. So hang in there, community. We are thriving and vibing in full force. And as always, Miss Lynette, Tuesday nights, we love tuning in to hear what it is that you have actually have to share with the community. I don't know if there's any other statements or comments that you'd like to make, or if there's any other individuals that have anything that they want to share. But if not, I want everyone to remember that on Mondays and Wednesdays, so tomorrow is Wednesday, Mr. Brandon Ivy and Mornita Casa, they actually do an overview presentation on MoveQuest. So if you have anyone that you want to share this with, have them go tomorrow at what and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, 1 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Eastern time at health to wealth live. Health to wealth live. And that's two as in TO, not the number two, health to wealth live. And have them be able to receive a presentation on this particular platform.
Hey,
So
Herschel.
outside of that,
Yeah, I
yes,
do.
ma'am. Go right ahead.
I want to ask you just a couple of questions of things you had said. So,
Sure.
we're talking about, the other crypto projects that, people
Mhm.
will hop into real quick. And like you just said, a lot of times they're hoping to make that quick buck. When people do that, let's just say over the last year, how many of those projects are still here, would you say?
Very, very low percentage
Yeah.
of them. Very low percentage of them. I don't want to say none because I know, some of them may still
Yeah.
be around,
They may
but
still be around,
yeah,
but
but the writing's on the
nobody's.
wall, right?
Exactly. And what do? They come back and guess what? MoveQuest is still here. We're still thriving. We don't give you an
Right,
inflated market value. We don't pump it
right,
up. There's no dumping going on. It's anti whale. And the best way I think to explain it to people is, you know, think of it as a city. And it's not built on taxes. It's not built on outside funding. So it doesn't require new money coming in. It just requires a community of people who are engaged within the platform, and it's powered by its community. Every action, every transaction, every movement, it's generating those resources that's needed to fuel the next. And so it's
right,
basically like roads maintaining themselves as people walk them. Markets grow as people trade. Every corner of the city is strengthening the liquidity and the market value of the token because of the engagement of the community. So it's not a blockchain, but it is designed as if it was a blockchain. And that is why MoveQuest is successful. That's why it will continue to be successful. And that's why if you get involved with MoveQuest, it will be the project that you can hang your hat on and be able to say that you won't lose your money. I can say that 100%. Now, if you're selling when it's low and you're not holding until you're in profit, I mean, that's a decision that you make. But this project, it's impossible for it to bankrupt or to close or to go away because it's not mismanaged by, like, for example, remember, there's no tokens allocated. I'm the creator of the project and I don't even hold the highest amount of token. I didn't get any tokens allocated to me. There's no tokens allocated for marketing. There's no tokens allocated for the development team, the design team, for the, project managers, the core team, builders, nothing, not one single MoveQuest token. Everybody has to buy them. Everybody has to mine them. That's the only two ways that you can get the MoveQuest token. So what does that say? That tells you that there's not going to be a pump and a dump because there's no tokens to dump. And I, as the creator, I don't even hold the highest amount of MoveQuest tokens. There's several wallets that hold more than I do. So it's a very solid project and it's worth everybody's time, to learn it. And what we do have coming out here in the next several days is going to be a way for everybody to test the system for a short period of time. But there will be no reason for anybody to tell you no, because all they have to do is download the app and they'll be able to test the system and take advantage of it. And you guys will be excited when you see how all of that's going to work. And I really think that it puts us in overdrive because the one thing you have to remember with the leasing, for example, let's just say never does a person come in and join the hatchery. But let's say we have 1 million people who are leasing miners. That means they never spent a dime on a miner. They didn't have to unlock any dock slots. They just simply connect their wallet and they start mining because they rented a miner. But that's all of those miners that are submitting that proof of physical activity to the blockchain. Remember how I said the submissions are the one constant within the algorithm that it depends on and relies on. And then everything else is like a bonus that tells the ecosystem what to do. But it all starts with the submissions. If you have a million miners that are submitting proof of physical activity to the blockchain, there's an in-app fee for that submission that goes to the liquidity. Now you have more coming in from submissions into the liquidity pool, probably than what the MoveQuest market value is even equivalent to, with the 2,500 going out. So now you've got a pool that has an overflow of USDT. Now, when people sell, they haven't even tapped into the liquidity because they're tapping into the overflow. So it really is all about an engaged community. It has nothing to do with new people coming in, but it has everything to do with that peer-to-peer community that are using the project and engaged in the system. I just want to make sure people understand that part too. We have a lot of new people that are, looking for information, trying to understand it, which is why I'm going over some of this stuff again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, like I said, once again, Ms. Lynette, we definitely appreciate you taking the time out every week to come and share and provide us with updates, information, education, and all of the above, or what have you. So everyone, once again, thank you for taking some time out of your evening to be with us. Remember, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, move to wealth.live for a full presentation on MoveQuest. And we will see you guys again this same time, same station next week. Until then, good night, everybody. Let's go, you know what to do. MoveQuest in the house, got a breakthrough. Lace up your shoes, burn it up, no slack. The toes on the rise while we're on the track. Run, jump, hustle all day. Every step's a win, that's the MoveQuest way. Calories burning, we earn as we play. Burning MQT, no delay, no sway. Moving your body, we on fire. To float higher and higher. Burn and feel the heat. MoveQuest, baby, get off your seat. Let's get it moving. We're burning up. Step by step, you're rising up. Feel the rush, feel the beat. MoveQuest, the wheel, got you on your feet. Let's get it moving. We're burning fast. Every step counts, we're making it last. With every move, you earning grow. MoveQuest, baby, let's go, let's go. Hustle on the move, no stopping this flow. We're cashing in on the stats, getting crypto to show. MoveQuest got the power, the future's clear. We're taking over, the time is here. From the street to the gym, we're taking flight. Every move's a token and it's feeling right. Step, move, group, get in the zone. Crypto's on the rise, it's ours to own. Moving your body, we on fire. Crypto flowing higher and higher. Burn, burn and feel the heat. MoveQuest, baby, get up your seat. Let's get it moving. We're burning up. Step by step, yeah, we're rising up. Feel the rush, feel the beat. MoveQuest, the bill, and got you on your feet. Let's get it moving. We're burning fast. Every step counts, we're making it last. With every move, you earning grow. MoveQuest, baby, let's go, let's go. Get on your feet, get in the game. MoveQuest, we're taking our play. Crypto's going, no stopping this beat. Burn those calories, feel the heat. Go, go, go. Step it up, feel the vibe. Every move's a win. Come alive. MoveQuest, the power, it's clear to see. Earning with every move, let it be. Let's get it moving. We're burning up. Step by step, yeah, we're rising up. Feel the rush, feel the beat. MoveQuest, the bill, we got you on your feet. Let's get it moving. We're burning fast. Every step counts, we're making it last. With every move, you earn and grow. MoveQuest, baby, let's go, let's go. Get it moving, we're burning bright. Crypto fitness, we got the light. MoveQuest the way, we're here to stay. Let's go, we're on our way.